Hi there, and welcome to this year's donor appreciation event. I want to thank you for joining me for this virtual celebration of the donations that you've made that have helped 109 amazing, deserving pets and their families this year. We could not have done that without you and your generosity. So I want to thank you on their behalf and on the behalf of Angels Paws and Angels Watch. We so appreciate that you were willing to make those very generous donations to us so that we were able to help that many pets this year. It's absolutely incredible that 12 years in, we are still able to say that we have never had to turn away anyone for financial hardship in the history of our Angel's Paws existence. That is an absolute incredible thing to be able to say, and it is all because of you. And I will tell you, as you can see, we're doing still a hybrid this year of our event because we are going to do a little bit in person on May 22nd. Today is going to be me hanging your stars and showing the sparkle that your stars have received if you were a repeat donor. And we're going to do that virtually through this celebration, but we are able to invite you back for the first time in 2 years to come to Angel's Paws and see your stars in person. We are so excited about that. But because we are still talking about the pandemic and it still continues to be around, I want to say that staffing has hit Angel's Paws just as it's hit every other small business. And I will tell you, when you're answering the phone with very emotional families who are calling to say that it's time for their pet, the people who take those phone calls day in and day out, it's a very, very emotional job. And when someone calls and says that they have the additional hardship of not having the finances to be able to say goodbye to their pet in the way that they want to, if if our phone people had to say, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do to help, I'm telling you, the staffing issue at Angel's Paws would even be much graver. But because of your generous, generous donations, my phone people are able to say, we are still able to help you. And, take them through the process of, making sure that they can't be afforded a payment plan first. And if they can't, then they are able to access our fund that you have so very generously donated. So that's our way of kind of making sure that those those monies that are in the fund are preserved and made available to the most needy and the most deserving people out there. So we work really hard at protecting those funds, but we have not had to say no to anyone who had a financial hardship. So thank you. I mean, it's more than just helping those pets, which if it was just that, that's beyond measure. It is absolutely a memory that that family will never forget, their ability to say goodbye in the sanctity of their own home. But it's more than that. Your donations actually help Angel's Paws thrive. And thriving during the pandemic has been a big challenge. And so I thank you. It definitely takes a village. You are our village, and we so, so appreciate you. So we helped 109 pets and their families, thanks to you. And I wanted to use this theme because I say it's thanks to you, but I know that it was a person or a pet that touched your heart so much that you became aware of us and that you wanted to um, donate to this cause. And I love this quote for the theme of our appreciation this year. And it says, "To live in hearts we leave behind is not to die." And those people and those pets who you remembered through your donation to Angels Watch are not gone. They are living on this earth in the hearts and minds and the memories now of the many families who we were able to help have this beautiful, beautiful transition to heaven for their pet from the sanctity of their own home. So your your pets, your people who you made donations for, they absolutely continue to live on through this work and through this effort and through the way you honor them. And we so greatly appreciate that. So, one of those people who lives on in all of our hearts and minds and our memories, and she has not died, and that is Betty White. You know, this cartoon says it all. It says so much about your life and legacy if people think you died too soon at 99. That really does say so much about her advocacy for animals and how she encouraged so many people to be advocates. She was just shy of her 100th birthday, and that brought on this huge challenge, as it turned out, nationwide for people to donate to their favorite animal charities. Well, on the very day she died, we got a donation in her honor, which we were just amazed by that happened even before the challenge came about nationally. But that challenge came about, and we were blessed with so many donations. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. One donation I do want to talk about, though, came from our volunteers, Laura and Michelle, and they wanted Betty White to have a brick in our garden of unconditional love. They just felt like it was so fitting that she would have a brick in our garden because she was such an animal lover and an animal advocate. So they donated $500 on Betty White's behalf so that she could have that brick. And that is going to be placed this year in our um, live memorial service on May 22nd. So thank you so much, Laura and Michelle. Such a touching, touching thing to do. But $3,600 were donated to Angels Watch on behalf of this amazing person. Betty White truly, truly just touched so many people, and we were the beneficiaries of that. And so were the pets that we are able to help as a result. So, Betty White, thank you. We just want you to know, to live in hearts we leave behind is not to die. And you have not died, Betty White. So we have been recognized in the obituary of some of our amazing clients. And uh, this one was in memory of Diana Kohler and her husband, Jim, and her daughter, Kristen. Made sure that Angels Watch was a beneficiary of her um, her donations in memory and in her honor as she passed. And we just so appreciate that um, the Kohler family, thought of Angels Watch. And we want to say the same about Faye Maddox's family. Susan is her daughter, and she wanted to make sure that there was also a paver that was in our garden of unconditional love on behalf of her mom. And so we so appreciate that as well. And in memory of Diane Reed, her friend Margie Miller, wanted to also make sure that there were donations that were made to Angels Watch in honor of Diane in her passing. And when we lose a client, a human client like this, it definitely touches our heart and breaks our heart as well. But we know that to live in hearts we leave behind is not to die. And these amazing people are going to continue living a legacy at Angels Paws and Angels Watch. In addition to these specific people who named us, many people actually requested that donations be made to their favorite animal charity. And that was actually listed in their obituaries, though we weren't specifically named. Anyone who was a friend of that person who thought of us made donations, and we were the beneficiary. So all of those people who recognized animal charities as being a beneficiary, I want you to know that you continue to live on here on earth, because that money is going to continue to bless people and pets through our service and through the service of all of those animal charities that were the recipients and beneficiaries as someone on the human side made their way to heaven. So somebody who's an angel here on this earth is Anne Reevy. And we are just doing one final salute to Anne Reevy, because in 2021, she retired after 11 years of being our support group facilitator. That is an amazing, amazing long run. And we just so appreciate that. What we did was we reached out to the people who she helped in the support group, which was many over time. And we asked them to write a letter from their pet saying how Anne helped their pet parent in the process. And I'm just going to read you one of those letters, because this is very representative of all of the letters that we received from the pet parents on behalf of the pets. Dear Anne, White Raven here with a special message from the Rainbow Bridge, where we have a club for pets whose grieving parents you helped and comforted. Thank you for helping my mom feel all the love I still have for her after I passed in November of 2020. You helped Mom accept that she did her best for me, and our bond of love is eternal. I had a good life with Mom, and thanks to you, she is able to go on without me until the day when we are reunited. One last thing, Anne. Wally is my buddy here. Wally, by the way, who's pictured there on the left with our younger version of Anne, was actually the pet that helped Anne find Angel's Paws. Wally is my buddy here. He's a president of that club I mentioned above. And Wally sends his love and wants you to know that he is very proud of all the work you've done to heal heartbroken pet parents. Wally also tells everybody up here that he has been inspiring and guiding you in your work. Wally wants to remind you that he is still there by your side at all times. So Anne, we just thank you so much for your service in our pet loss support groups. The pet loss support groups are continuing on. They still meet 3 times a month, and we're doing it still by Zoom. We haven't come back together again in person. But if you find yourself grieving and want some more support, the pet loss support groups are still available, and we would love to have you. Just let us know and we will send you the details on how you can connect with us via Zoom. Thank you, Anne. We did dedicate a room at Angel's Paws for Anne. It's called Anne's Room by the Bridge, and it's our support group room because that's where pet parents gather when they are thinking about their pet and talking about their pet on this side of the bridge when their pet is just over the other side of the bridge. So, to live in hearts we leave behind is not to die. It doesn't matter if you're here on this earth for just a very short time, like this very tiny puppy, when a bandit obtained a parvo disease and unfortunately passed away. And Brent was experiencing a financial hardship at that time, but wanted to have Bandit cremated. And Angel's Watch helped. This was in 2016. Well, Brent never forgot about us. And when he got on his feet and started a detailing company, he reached out to us and he said, "Hey, Tammy, I want to detail your entire fleet for free as a really just as a payback." And it's not even a complete payback in his mind. He detailed all 10 of our Priuses for us. And I mean, inside and out. And he said it was the least he could do for the kindness that we bestowed upon him and his bandit in their time of need. And that's what Angel's Watch does. And it prompts people when they do get on their feet to be able to pay it forward and do something to help their pet continue to live on. And so Bandit lives on in our world because thanks to his short stint on this earth, we were able to have all of our cars fully detailed by this very, very talented person. And so, Brent, we greatly appreciate your efforts. B&H Detail is in Hamilton, so we'd strongly encourage anyone who might need their car detailed to check out this amazing guy and this amazing company. So let's talk a little bit more about some recipients, some current recipients. This is Hopi. And Angels, I just want to read from the pet parents some of these things. Angel's Paws helped me give my Hopi a proper goodbye. I had just gotten divorced and had to file for bankruptcy, and I was at one of my lowest points in my life, and Angel's Watch was there to help me. I will never forget that. I just want to show my thanks by giving you this picture of my forever angel, Hopi. When she crossed the Rainbow Bridge at 16, she was my everything, my best friend, my child. Not a day goes by I don't think of her and still miss her terribly. Angel's Paws gave me nothing but good memories of our last moments together. And that is our goal. And that is what your donations through Angel's Watch help us achieve. So this adorable kitty is Beatrice. Beatrice's mom said, "I live on a fixed income due to a major car accident for which Beatrice was there to comfort me through my rehabilitation. Then my mom passed away from COVID in 2020. I'm still grieving her terribly, which makes the loss of Beatrice even more difficult. Beatrice got upset when I cried. I could tell by the look in her eyes that she wanted so much to be able to take all of that away. When I adopted her, I made her a promise to give her my best, so I knew allowing her to pass peacefully at home when it was time to say goodbye was the best gift I could give. Thank you, Angel's Paws and Angel's Watch." Emma was a chocolate lab we rescued when she was less than a year old. She had been kept on a zip line outside in the heat during the day and locked in a cage in the owner's laundry room at night. She had terrible separation anxiety at first, but she was the sweetest dog I've ever had. She followed me everywhere. She had aggressive bone cancer of the skull and was euthanized on March 24th of 2022. I don't know if I'll ever get over her loss, but I will tell you that this baby Emma had a terrible, terrible beginning. But thanks to Angel's Watch, she had a beautiful, beautiful ending with an amazing pet parent who took care of her through those critical years in the middle. So thank you so much, Angel's Watch, for what you did to help Emma. So this is Bourbon. My sweet Bourbon was a rescue that I got about 8 years ago. It was obvious from the beginning that he had anxiety around men and strangers. However, he took to my now 14-year-old with such ease. I think maybe he knew my son with special needs needed him. Bourbon had lung cancer, and was very slow moving and losing weight. As a single mom, my hours have been cut, and my client's family has COVID that they got while on vacation. So I'm now out of work for at least 2 weeks, and that job pays my rent. So I'm just really stuck trying to figure out how to take care of my Bourbon and overwhelmed with it all. I appreciate how sweet and kind you all have been for not judging me, for needing help while giving my sweet boy the life that he deserves. Thank you, Angels Watch donations. And finally, this is Marcia and Bailey. Marcia had a very aggressive form of cancer, and she was penniless at the time of her passing. Her friends contributed to do the caregiving and allow her to have hospice at home. They were her round-the-clock caregivers. And Bailey was her beloved 12-year-old pet. Bailey was failing himself, however, and this was a great worry to Marcia. He had lost his sight, he had lost his hearing, he was losing control of his bowel, his bladder, and his vet also felt it was best for Bailey to not wind up in a shelter, because the caregivers all contributed to take care of Marcia's cremation, but there were no funds left to take care of Bailey in any way, and none of the caregivers had homes that were able to accommodate Bailey and his special needs. So Angel's Paws helped him transition so that and provided him a cremation through Angel's Watch that allowed Marcia and Bailey to be buried together. It was an amazing story, and it was because of your generosity and that all of that timing was able to help. Just as Marcia was imminently dying, we were able to make those arrangements and give her that peace in her transition. So I just want to personally thank the donors of Angel's Watch for all of the things that you do and how you help us each and every year when you think of us for those donations. People have shared with us why they support Angel's Watch. Bridget O'Connor says, my husband and I wanted to donate to this incredible organization after such an amazing experience with our dog Derby. Angel's Paws brought so much comfort and ease when we had to say our final farewell, and we hope everyone in the Cincinnati area can experience that peace. And that just means the absolute world to us, because that is our mission. Carolyn Lampel said, your wonderful organization is always remembered for your kindness and care. Please use my gift where it is needed most, as you were most needed by me and my lady. Thank you so much. Thank you again for thinking of us as you allow your pet to live in your hearts, because when that happens, then they truly do not die. They continue to have a legacy on this earth, and we greatly appreciate that. So getting on to our main event, which is to honor those pets and those people who live in the hearts of you, who they have left behind temporarily, is not to die. As we get on with celebrating those very, very special beings, I want to share how the presentation happens next. You will see when you do your first donation with us, we create a star with a picture of the honored person or pet. I will be hanging those stars this year, again in the virtual part of our ceremony, which is now. And there will be a chime that happens because just like in the movie, um, at at Christmas time, when the bell chimes, then an angel gets their wings. We believe the same is true. So there'll be a chime as we recognize your beloved pet. And for repeat donors who we depend on and greatly, greatly appreciate, you get sparkle on your star each year. And we are going to include that in the presentation so you'll see your star of your beloved pet or person with their new sparkle in our chapel. We have two chapels. We have the Rainbow Chapel, which was our original chapel. And when we got our second crematory, we added a second chapel, and it is the Garden Chapel, because it looks out on the Garden of Unconditional Love. And the Garden of Unconditional Love is where the major donors of Angels Watch are recognized. And so the Garden of Unconditional Love is going to have many elements placed this year, thanks to your amazing donations. And we greatly appreciate that and look forward to seeing you in person on May 22nd so that we can truly honor everything that you have done for us and for Angels Paws. Well, I probably should have warned you. I can't watch that without having a full box of Kleenex very nearby because it just touches my heart so much when I look at the unconditional love that was given from each one of those babies to us as we went through our lives together. Once again, to live in the hearts we leave behind is not to die. Each of your babies are with you, and they will continue to be with you. And I thank you for allowing their lives, who touched your lives so much, to then in turn touch the lives of the pets and the people that we're able to touch through Angel's Watch and through Angel's Paws. I thank you. Thank you for sharing this time with us. We look forward to seeing you in person, May 22nd, 2 o'clock. Um, we're going to have a beautiful open house. Let's hope we have a beautiful day of weather. But even if we don't, rain or shine, we're getting together again, and we cannot wait to see you. Thank you, and God bless you. God bless each and every day that you walk on this earth, and that you touch the lives and hearts of others, so that one day when it's each of our time, that we too continue to live in the hearts of those we leave behind. Thank you.